Good afternoon. Jeff Dawson here, Dallas, Texas, Amazon best-selling author, especially of this book, Love's True Second Chance. This is a rather solemn day for me. It's 12 years ago, I reunited with this beautiful woman, Debbie Beck Larson. I had waited 30 years for this to happen, and it did. 7 months later, she would pass from breast cancer. But that 7 months was the most wonderful that I can remember as far as a relationship is concerned. So I'm going to read the opening poem in the last chapter, in the first chapter of the book. Now, it's currently in ebook form on sale for $357, and the paperback, I believe, is $1157. She was a very special woman, and this is one of those loves that really can't be defined. When I do the math, we were only together like 27 months over 30 years. But it was an amazing 27 months. We met in high school, had a typical teenage love story. I go to college, she gets lonely. It's a horrible breakup. We crossed paths at Oklahoma State a couple of times. Those are not happy reunions. And then we both go on with our lives. But every 10 years, I would drop a business card in her parents' mailbox. And I was in Tulsa. I believe it was December 6th. My youngest son, Sean, had a Muay Thai competition. And I thought, what the hell? One more time. Let's try this one more time. And I did. 2 weeks passed. I hadn't heard anything. And finally, her memories and what we had shared began to fade away until I received a phone call at work. I was expecting it to be a supplier with bad news. It wasn't. It was Debbie. You'll have to read the story to see how that conversation went. But we agreed to meet. We got together in January. And for the next 7 months, it was phenomenal. And I knew she had breast cancer. She told me this. In fact, she tried to scare me away with it, that she was bald and she was on the tail end of radiation therapy. And she was divorced. Well, I'm divorced, so we've all been through that. She has small children. Well, my children are a little older than her by about 10 years. Didn't matter to me. I'm coming to see you. Just to see if there's anything left from so many years gone by. And I'm happy to say there was. And the one question I asked Debbie as the relationship grew is, why now? And she said very succinctly, unfinished business. And I agreed 100%. It was unfinished business. We needed to finish what we started. And we did, but we shared so much more. And yeah, there aren't many days that go by that I don't think back about her and what we had. And yeah, I still miss her a lot. People will say, well, it's time to move on. Well, I haven't found the right woman to move on with. And I'm not just going to go to Walmart or Kmart and look for a blue light special or something. They've got to be a special woman. Debbie was a special woman. I mean, she put up with me. That takes a lot of doing. So I will start with the opening poem, Where Have You Gone? I remember those carefree days, the girlish happy smile, the days of high school, where only our love mattered, the bus rides to the games and back, trips to the river bridge where our thoughts were one, the nights filled of passion in the truck, the moonlight dancing off our sweat-covered bodies. Our paths parted in a sea of tears, the hurt, the pain of the past, always just under the surface. A flash of sunlight, a familiar smile met with pain and hostility. The smile vanishes, the pain and hurt boil up, yet the feelings of love never lost, only suppressed. And I want to comment on that. This was the first time I'd seen her. Now, the second time since we broke up. I was probably a sophomore, junior in college, and I had just taken a test. I know I bombed it. So I was with a buddy, and we were trying to figure out where were we going to go to wash away. We're standing in front of the library, and I look to my right, and I see this figure, and it's like, it can't be. No, tell me it's not. Closer she gets, then I can start seeing the smile. Yeah, I know exactly who that is. And she walked up so happy and said, "Hi, Jeff, how are you?" And let's just say I wasn't real pleasant. I said, "Not worth a damn. What do you want?" Yeah, that smile vanished. And I wouldn't see her for another at least a year and a half or 2 years. So I just wanted to expound on that just a little bit. A trip to Tulsa, a business card in a mailbox, a phone call 2 weeks later, and the past awakens. The smile, the pain, the hurt, the memories pour in like a raging river out of its banks. Is it worth the chance? Is it worth opening the heart again? Is it worth another trip to the unknown? The smile is the same. The feelings of love spring up. The past is forgotten. The present and future are all that matter. Or is it? 7 months of life together. We laughed, we cry, we loved, chasing children, sharing their lives, strawberries shake in the face, movies from a galaxy long ago, steaks, chicken and seasonings, grilled to perfection with love, a snowball fight, a walk in the white soft flakes, a pause on the sidewalk. We embrace, kiss long and deep, letting our bodies provide the warmth. That was a wonderful moment. I can still see her in a red peacock dress, and it was snowing. It's just one of those moments that are endless, and you just want to capture and put in a bottle and save it forever. The diagnosis, it's back. Consoling the daughters, a call to the parents, a call to the EMTs. The present and the future are slipping away. The final hours of life, only the sounds of deep, painful breathing. The halls are silent. Nothing but thoughts for 30 years circle. The end is closing in. The cancer is tracking its deadly course. A warm hand rubs a chest going cold. The breathing has stopped. The pain is flowing out of her face. The doctor comes in. The verdict is quiet with compassion. I'm so sorry. She's gone. Where have you gone? Life has come to a stop. There is nothing that matters anymore. A never forgotten love has been taken in the prime of life. A bench in a cemetery with no one else around. The tears pour uncontrollably. We cry, "Where have you gone?" A voice, soft and tender, floats down. "I'm fine." Where have I gone? Where there is no pain, no sadness. A place where the cancer has healed. A place where mistakes of the past have been forgiven. A place where I can look down to watch and help. A place where only love resides. The place, heaven. That is where I have gone. All right. Chapter 1. The end. July 20th, 2009, 7 a.m. I held her hand and kissed her face with the arrival of a sunny, beautiful morning, hoping for a miracle. The shift change is in full swing. Staff checking in, charts being reviewed, doctors and nurses exchanging information, vital signs being verified. Debbie's breathing is labored as it has been for the last 24 hours. I never knew if each breath would be her last. The cancer is running its course through her beautiful body at a terrible pace. An aide came in to change the sheets and clean her up. She asked if I would like her to wash Debbie's hair. I pondered the thought for a minute, looking at the love of my life, and replied in a hushed, choked tone, she would like that. How long will it take you to change her bed and wash her hair? She said about 15 minutes. I stepped out of the room and called her friend Kathy to get an estimated time of arrival. She assured me that she would be at the hospital within 30 minutes. Debbie is in good hands with the aide. I decided to get some air, purchase a Coke, and have a cigarette. I went to the store with one thought running through my mind. Is there anything else I can do for her? Had I done everything I could for her? Had I done everything I could for the love of my life? Would God sit by her side and let her live out her life on earth, or whisper in her ear, take her hand and guide her to heaven? I had no control over what was happening to her. Kathy arrived at the hospital room at 8:50 a.m. She'd been detained by her hubby, who was in the process of coming home from Alaska after a 3-month tour with the railroad. She called looking for me. I told her I was downstairs having a smoke, would be up in a few minutes. She said Deb is doing fine. My gut told me different. Something had changed. There was something in the air which didn't feel right. I hurried back into the hospital. The elevator took an eternity to reach the 3rd floor. I rushed down the hallway with a sense of urgency and hesitancy. I entered the room. Kathy was standing on the left of the bed. She asked how I was. I never responded. Her labored breathing had stopped. Kathy, how long has she been like this? She heard the concern in my voice and saw the look on my face. She moved closer to the bed, put her fingers on Debbie's right wrist, checking for a pulse. She wanted to believe she felt one. I laid my hand on her warm chest. It wasn't moving. The pain in her face was starting to subside. I believe Kathy said she was going to get a nurse. All I could do was rub her chest and stroke her hair. Tears were starting to fall from my eyes. The nurse came in and slowly moved me to check for any sign of life. Without a word, she exited the room looking for a doctor on call. He entered the room with the nurse. They both checked for signs of life. The doctor slowly turned, looked me in the eye, placed his hand on my right shoulder, and said the words with as much compassion as possible. I'm very sorry. She's gone. I digested his words and began understanding the depth of our love. My heart didn't break. It literally shattered into a million pieces. I turned towards Kathy and collapsed into her arms, crying uncontrollably. Our 30-year love affair was over. So you know how the story ends. But that's not what the story is about. It's about everything that we shared together. The year and a half in high school and the 7 months thereafter. It's about the ups and downs of relationships. It's about unconditional love. It's about trust. And one of the most striking parts in this book is when I wrote it, I really wasn't thinking about this one chapter. And what chapter is it? Chapter 14 is called Please Leave the Light On. We hear of women having breast cancer all the time and succumbing to it. But there's a big part of this that for guys, we don't think about it. But when a woman has a mastectomy, we don't realize how psychologically damaging this is to them. And that first night it was 3 months before we made love. And it never, ever dawned on me what this was going to be like until we went to her bedroom and I asked her, do you want me to leave the light on? And she said yes. And that's when it hit me. She wants me to see her chest and see that massive scar where her right breast was. And would I be appalled? Would I be horrified? Would I be turned off? That was a defining moment in our relationship. Of course I wasn't, because to me it was just an appendage. But to her and most women, that is a vital part of their womanhood. And they believe that they aren't a complete woman. And that is the farthest thing from the truth. And anyone that is in a relationship and your wife or girlfriend has to go through this, and this is a real test. Are you in love with the physical aspect of this girl? Are you in love with the entire package? I was in love with the entire package. It didn't bother me. I loved Debbie. Of course, she had quirks and kinks like we all do that are irritating and bug us, but hell, that's half the fun of a relationship, is uncovering those traits and idiosyncrasies. But if you're a guy and you walk away from a woman who has lost a breast and hasn't had the reconstructive surgery, it was something Debbie was thinking about, but it wasn't a priority. Her priority was trying to beat this damn disease. You need to check yourself. And gals, if you're in a relationship with a guy like that, and it's all about the physical and not the mental and emotional, you're with the wrong guy. And you will sadly find this out if you go through that procedure. But it was a very defining moment in our relationship. And I was asked by many, why did you roll the dice again? Because I loved her. And I wanted to see if there was anything left so I could either file it away or finish it. And we finished it. And I'd do it again, knowing the outcome. I would do it again in a heartbeat, because it was that's what we did in 7 months. When I look back at it and I put a timeline to it and days to it, I mean, I'm only going up there on the weekends. So it's 2 days, 2.5, sometimes 3. Okay. That's 12 months. That's 12 days maximum in 7 months. That's not a lot of time. But when you read this story, you will be amazed. And I don't know what the other word is that I'm looking for. But this is about utilizing all the time you have to the fullest. Yes, I was there when the doctor read her MRI to her, and I was like, There's no way she's going to survive this. I mean, the first treatment's going to kill her. She's just now gaining her strength. I mean, she just finished her last radiation treatment had been 3 months ago. No, it hadn't been that long. Maybe 2 months ago. She was just now starting to gain her strength back when the diagnosis said it's returned with a vengeance. But yeah, I'd do it again. And that's not what we didn't dwell on what would happen. We focused on what we needed to do. And what we needed to do was live. And live each moment to the fullest. I know we've all heard that saying, and you got to live life to the fullest and all this. And, it's another one of those catchphrases, but when you get down to it, we did. And when I go back and read our story, it really does amaze me at how much we did in that short time we had together. And yeah, I'd do it again. So gals and even guys, because remember, this is not written by some woman. That's my name down there, Jeff Dawson. This is a man's story of love. And there aren't many of them, especially a true one. It's on Amazon. Like I said, the ebook is $357. That's on sale, and the printed copy, I believe, is $1157. And I would definitely appreciate it if you picked up a copy, not just for me, but for yourself. Because if you're a person out there who doesn't think that second chances or true love are possible, well, I'm here to tell you they are. Are they easy? No. Can they be painful? Yes. But are they worth it? Absolutely. Y'all have a great day.